is the presentation of Group 1, and today we are gonna have some little discussion about the Last Supper.
So we are not here to Xin, and he is quite familiar with all of you, so you know a thing or two about him. But he is much more than what we know about him. He was active as a painter, a draftsman, but he is also an engineer, a scientist, and an architect as well. He is widely regarded to have been a genius who was the lead for the Renaissance humanist ideal. But that's not what we're going to really focus on today. We're going to focus on his main department, which is art. He has created numerous famous paintings, and one of the most famous of all is Mona Lisa, and also the portrait of musician and the Last Supper.
So let me give you some little history background. So the Last Supper was painted during the Renaissance. So it's got some certain characteristic elements. These include perspective, both of how it was achieved and how it was applied, and also realism. Realism, particularly in the depiction of humanity, either as symbolic, portrait, or narrative element.
So I'm going to start with details about the picture. First is about his subject matter. So the subject matter itself is very thrilling and amazing. The plot is taken from a part of the Bible, representing the reaction to the trial of the apostles of Jesus Christ, when Jesus told them that one of them would betray him. So this subject matter is interesting to many people and marks a breaking point in religious history.
So let's move on about the composition. So the composition of the painting was complicated and subtle. So as you can see here, there are 13 people in the picture having supper. And clearly it's revealed that Jesus is in the middle of the table along with six people by each side. And this is the first thing that grabbed attention. And what's made special about the painting is the incredible use of perspective. So Da Vinci chose to heighten the effect of the long table scene, as you can see here, by using a one-point perspective, which takes Jesus as the center of the painting. And all the light of this perspective here move toward the same signal vanishing point, and you can see this most easily by following the lines of the window behind the table.
Let's talk about this organization. So the depiction of the picture itself is really amazing and considered to be one of the most impressive technical accomplishments. There are 13 figures in this painting, and Jesus Christ is the main figure. Surrounding him are 12 of his disciples, and each of them has distinct stance. You can see here, and their movements fit in with all of the surroundings, so that they can carry the movements of the scene from one end of the table to another. Even though that the movements are quite large and eye-catching, the hand gestures and people leaning forward, but none of those movements are too, draws more attention than the others, and that's why this painting is so perfectly balanced. Moreover, the Last Supper also has done a great job in depicting the holiness of Jesus Christ, highlighting the calmness and peacefulness he brings to the atmosphere. And the painter who painted this painting must be a genius when he felt that he can comprehend all that features in just one picture. And that kind of person is definitely Leonardo da Vinci.
Yeah. So when we talk about the color, you can see that in the painting, Da Vinci has chosen colors carefully. As you can see in the painting here, Jesus is wearing clothes with red and blue color, while blue signifies the sky and the purity. Red signifies the fire, danger, and also a passionate heart. This combination of colors may correspond to the Holy Spirit of Jesus and the danger which is about to come. All the colors except the clothes are calming and create a peaceful atmosphere. Unfortunately, colors are not as bright as they used due to the poor condition and because of the materials that Da Vinci used are mostly are not the well-maintained materials. So as you can see here, all the apostles are reacting in different ways. You can see the sort of chaos, agony, and tension are clearly represented. However, in the middle of Christ is sitting with his eye down and looking calm and divine. This illustration is not typical for the Last Supper because the spade and the figures are interacting with each other. What we're looking at is a group of men who have lived together and worked each by side for 3 years, just finding out that one of them are the traitor, which is Judas. As you can see, this is hiding a knife with his arm. And that's the moment Da Vinci chose to capture all of that depicts the heat of the moment, anger, agony, and fear.
So the people in this painting, all of them question each other in clusters, in the 3 main clusters, and they're all pointing at each other in accusation and ruling with a grief. And here you can see that Judas, who is the betrayer that Jesus has always known, is painted in shadow with his friends surrounding him. So, in order to put that all in just by painting this. Sorry. So, in the center of it all, Jesus is someone who knows it all and knows that as soon as they leave, they're going to face a danger. And that's some pretty heavy subject matter. And Da Vinci, the fact that Da Vinci has been able to put all of this in only this scene shows that how incredible and master at painting that he is. That piece of art has a lot to offer, starting with fundamental things like structure, ending with small details and symbols that appear in the painting. While not so famous as Mona Lisa, this painting is still iconic and is one of the most produced and discussed works in the history.
From the originality of its proposition to the tragic damages and decay that plagued in it, to the hotly debated potential meaning behind every grain of thought, it maintained its relevance to the present day, and which is forever memorable and forever remembered. And this also ends our presentation today. Thank you everybody for listening.